What I'm most excited about is, being in the theater with all the alumni and people who love this show so much, but it's really being on the stage, on the line, that this woman next to me originated is still, I think about it every single day, that's what I'm most excited about, is stepping on that stage.
Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge. Michael Bennett's groundbreaking musical, A Chorus Line, will celebrate its 50th anniversary with a one-night-only benefit concert for the Entertainment Community Fund at the Shubert Theatre on July 27th. It will feature original cast members and alumni, including my four guests who took on the iconic role of Cassie. Please welcome the Tony Award-winning original Donna McKechnie, Robyn Hurder, Charlotte D'Amboise, and Jessica Lee Goldyn.
You know, the show is so important and it's touched so many lives. And I'm really excited to be in the building with so many alumni from 75 on. I feel like I have to prepare myself for that because it's just so exciting and I'm honored to be a part of it.
You know, there are roles and then there are roles.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure for a dancer, the role of Cassie is something like, you're like, one day will I get to play the iconic role of Cassie. So Donna, you of course created this role and won the Tony Award for this.
Yeah, yes, but I remember I was thinking, I knew I would see you today and I was excited to talk about it, even though we still don't know what the show is yet. But I remember when I came back to do the show 10 years later, when I think that Cassie got pregnant then, and Joe Papp said, I hear you're dancing again, so come back. And I stayed like 8 months. But I remember, and it was 10 years later, it was always hard. It was really hard. But I thought, I was so proud of the show, and that I was so proud that I could get back 10 years later and do it in the same theater, the same production. And I remember I was doing these, right? Yeah. The end of da-da-da-da-da-da. And I thought, this thought came in my head. I thought, this is going to be a great gift for every dancer who does this role. And it wasn't because I was just tired and I was ready to leave. But I thought, it's so fulfilling, it's so demanding, but it's more than just the steps, of course, they all know that it's really an acting role. And when I worked with Jessica and her students, I make it a point to say, have your own storyboard, make it personal, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it's acting based, right? And every woman, all these beautiful ladies have made it their own. I've seen them all, and there's a lot of room for interpretation, even though I love to see Michael's choreography, certain things, that his style and everything I really like. But it's changed over time, but not that much, really, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm doing
it's still the same
what you did.
Structure.
I'm doing what you did.
But it's beautiful to see the dancer,
the evolution of it too.
Make it such a personal experience because there's a place to go with it, and it demands so much of you, physically, emotionally, and it's very gratifying.
So I was going to ask you, before...
I'm glad I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. Before Music in the Mirror, you had Inside the Music, which was the first number that was written for you, which I know you were thrilled that it left. So when you got Music in the Mirror, when you were working with Michael Bennett, how collaborative was he with you? Because when I watch you and all the ladies do this role, it's an acting role, it's so emotional, it's physical, it's a play amongst itself. It's one of the most greatest show-stopping numbers ever. How much of you is in that number when you were working on this with Michael the first time around?
Michael was very collaborative with everyone. He loved talent, he loved dancers, and he just, so I liken it to, someone starts a sentence and you finish it. If you work with someone for years, you kind of, you have a different language, and that was very important to me because I was very eager to follow, just tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. Dancers, tell me what to do, I'll do it. Actors, why? Why do I do it? But I was eager to do whatever and so to be able to have that opportunity to create from your personal emotional condition in dance is rare, and I think, and it's wonderful to be able to. I mean, I even stepped out and I said, maybe we should change the tempo and do 4/4 here instead of the. And he went, oh, I like that. And so, you know, those things happen, and you don't think much of it. You're just trying to make it work. And then it never works in the beginning, you know. And then you go, oh, this is never going to work. And it was really not working. And then Michael had that ability to see, and every show I had ever done with him, it never worked the first time. He had to stand back and see the mistake and go, now I know how to fix it. Every show. So that was kind of a process.
It's nice when they can fix it. You know what I mean?
You can see it and know the problem.
Yeah,
fix
I
it,
mean,
yeah.
that's the genius,
A lot of people
right?
just leave and say, I can't do this. But, but he said,
or they don't see it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And that's
exactly.
the genius
right.
to be, you know, because nothing ever comes out perfect, right? You're in and that's the eye.
So for each of you, learning the number, was it the steps first? Did you talk emotionally with your director, like learning music in the mirror? Like Robyn, how did you learn the number first?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was alone. You know, we do the Cassie camp where it's just, you know, the Cassie alone with Bjork, and you know, we just started with her warm up, and then.
We know that warm up.
Yep, we know the warm up. Yep. But you know, she's like, let's start with pirouettes. And so I remember she's like, this is how we do it. We're going to start with the pirouettes. And then after the pirouettes, we're going to go from heat wave. And so you start from the end and you keep adding on sections to the beginning. So she kind of started with me. It was just, here are the steps. And then she went full on like Michael Bennett interrogation. Like she really put me through it, just analyzing the scene before the dance, and then going through like, what is your inner monologue? And you know, back then I was like 26, 27. I already felt like I was too young to do the role, and I was just like, oh, I was so nervous and too in my head back then. But I don't know, when I think about it now, I was very, like what you said, like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And City Center was like, now I can do it for myself.
Yeah.
Because that was really magical. I'm sure, like you said, early on, you didn't think you were ready for it. Then you were given the opportunity to do it at City Center and blew the roof off the place.
That was a gift, because I definitely spent a year on tour, honestly feeling like a fraud. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm singing it and I'm dancing it and I'm acting it, but I don't know who this woman is. I have not experienced any of this, and I feel like the show was so important to me. Even though I'd never done it before, I felt like to play this role, honestly, I needed to
Have history.
A
little history in the business.
And then 10 years go by and I went through everything. I didn't work for 3 years, and I got married and I had a baby, and you know, and you get back into show business, and then all of a sudden you get this gift again, and it was just the greatest moment.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It was just really, still to this day, I think
The
will
gift
forever
that keeps
be
giving, right?
It was the biggest gift and the highlight of my career.
Yeah.
Always.
Charlotte, for you.
Well, I was same pretty much, you know, with Bjork in rehearsals, and God, you remember you were there, and it was like I was working at lunch.
Yeah, she makes everyone get out.
I didn't have
the door.
I was working at lunch. It was like, everybody go, Charlotte, run the Cassie dance. You know
I
what I mean?
wouldn't leave. I would eat my sandwich in the hall so I could watch you.
Aw, well,
Yeah.
thanks. I remember doing it and couldn't. You remember one of our first run-throughs? I couldn't even get through it.
Yep. No, you did.
Remember,
You always
I
did.
think I did. I remember not getting through it.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Maybe I did. But I do remember, like, it's like, no lunch break for you, Charlotte. You're back there doing Cassie, which I'm happy to do. You know, we're all workhorses.
Yeah.
I'm like over
Okay.
and over and over again. And it's the kind of thing, you know, you want to, it's personal. It's personal, and you want to make it personal, and it needs honesty.
Yeah.
The whole character, it's just honesty.
Yeah.
You know, and every move has to be honest, I feel. So, you know, it's a combination of a lot of practice and a lot of mental work and a lot of finding yourself in it, and also a little bit of weight of age, of history
Yep.
to capture it, you know, really honestly.
Yeah. Jess, for you learning
Yeah.
it, steps first?
Yes, steps first.
Watching her at lunch break.
Well, even before, I've had such a amazing journey of learning it so young, from Louis Villebon, who worked really closely
Even
with
before
Bjork.
that.
Right. Well, that
was
tape that
11.
you saw
She was
was
11,
Oh, you were 11? Oh,
It
Were
was-
you 11?
It was amazing that they did a
She was
chorus line every year. And so I learned really early on, that you kind of learn everything and that you learn the show, even to like learning men and women, kind of in the way that Fosse works, of like, you're learning everything. And so I learned it originally from Louis Villebon, who was an incredible Paul, and also worked closely with Bjork. And then I got to work with Donna Drake. And so the first time I got my equity card doing the show, the first time that I really did it professionally and learned it fully through was with her and Michael Gorman. And then had, again, I was thrown in essentially to the revival to replace Charlotte because she couldn't do that final.
I couldn't do the final show. I had something. I forget something.
And so I was able to work with Bjork, but it was pretty fast and furious. And then, I had kind of touchstones all along the way, and working with Jill Slider, who did 32 productions of Cassie. She was this wealth of knowledge. That was the first production that I did post the revival. And then working with, Mitzi Hamilton, and then working with Donna kind of changed everything. It was kind of, at such a young age, I understood the love of dance, right? And saying, this is what I need to, this is what my gift is on this earth, to like, this is like breathing. But I didn't quite understand, like everyone else is saying, of, the weight of life and the ups and downs and the successes and the failures, and how to incorporate that within the dialogue and the song, and then the movement, the monologue of the movement. And that was the gift that Donna gave me.
You can never stop discovering. There's so many layers, even going back, and Jill was helpful. And she said, remember when you said this? And you went, no, I don't, did I say that?
Yeah.
Because there's so much, it's so rich, the material. I mean, you can just create the story, a new story every time. You constantly discover when you do it. It's very fulfilling, right?
Yes,
Am I
that's
totally
why
right.
I can't stop
you
saying
can
yes.
go in all these different, your imagination can take over, and you always have that structure, that beginning, that middle, and that end. It's like starting with a fragmented person, and by the end of it, she has reclaimed her life. I think that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Not just her,
Her power
dancer's
in her life
but,
and
but her wholesomeness.
Right. That's why I keep saying yes to the show. Anytime anyone asks me, will you play Cassie? I am someone new every time I do it. And there is like she would say to me, drop your armor, and I would drop my armor, or I would like peel back another layer of the onion. And it was, revealing another side of me each time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's freeing all at the same time. Once you do Cassie numerous times, like, the older you get with more stuff behind you, like, oh my God, it's freeing, I'm sure, when you do the number.
Well, and
I'm sure
also,
it's a killer too.
I have to say, how great for a dancer to have a stage by yourself, with mirrors, and an audience. What could be better than that?
And then there's music, and you just get to let go.
And then the music, and that'll support you. But also, it's like a dream come true for a dancer, right?
And they're rooting for you.
And they're rooting for you.
So what's the hardest section for each of you? Like when you're working on this, like I'm coming up to this, like in rehearsal, or like what part of the number you're like, oh my God, I have to get through this?
I'm trying to think.
I'm like,
I agree. That whole section.
This one hurts
Because
me a lot.
the flying, you fly, and then you have the thing, and then you have the joy, and then it's the dun, and then you're like, fuck,
And
I got
you're
the
like,
pirouettes
they're
coming,
coming,
they're coming,
and you
we're
have
almost
to-
home.
Yeah.
Right,
But we're not.
But the thing is, it's like in my
And that's
head,
not an
it's
easy
Bjork.
step either. You're turning this way, you're turning
No,
that
this
way.
1, 2, 3. But Bjork said, Robyn, I know you're tired. This is when you have to depend on your technique.
Yeah.
If you just think about your technique, focus on that, and don't, it'll make you a little, and keep
Put
breathing.
the acting aside. That's what Michael told me, at the end. He said, you're just technique, just to get through it, because it's going to be, you're going Yeah.
Is the last, the layback? What
That
do you
is
call
hard.
that?
I was going to say that's my.
The back
It's
bend?
the
Is
hold.
it back bend?
It's just staring at the ceiling.
While the applause is
that
going on for 5 minutes.
And
Oh, that. Oh,
holding
the
and
end.
trying to breathe with your neck in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the lip goes numb.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, it takes me back. I remember when we before we had an audience, do it, and I'd stand up, but you're exhausted, so the scene continues.
I know, yeah.
Right? So I was so happy that people liked it, that they applauded, and I would, sometimes if you hold it long, they'll
Yeah.
applaud more,
Yeah.
so then you can breathe. And you're going, yep, 2,
Yeah.
okay, I'm okay.
All right. Favorite memory? You've all done a chorus line in numerous productions. You must have so many incredible favorite memories of a performance or just something magical that happened. Anybody want to start and share a wonderful favorite memory from a chorus line?
Well, I can tell you the thing that comes to mind, it always, when I knew we were doing this, the 50th, I remember in 1983 when Michael had all of the dancers come out in the finale, and one line after another, and the audience was going crazy, and then we started the numbers, and all of a sudden, the aisle, he had the dancers come on each aisle and in the balcony, and I remember being on stage, we're at the end of it, and we're going, hat, no hat, hat, and we're taking off hat, and we're doing the step, and everybody in the aisle, all the dancers, I looked up, and we were taking our hats off to each other. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was just
Beautiful.
so magical.
Wow.
And the audience, it was a thrilling celebration.
I mean, I have lots, but when I think about when I first did it on the national tour, Clyde was Mike, and we got married on the tour, and he knew I was going through it. Because we're also touring the country, we're in different climates, the stage feels different, and then it's like my knees are hurt. It was so hard to travel for me, at least with the show. I couldn't really explore because, I was thinking about my legs, don't walk too much because you have to do the show at night. But he knew how hard it was for me, and every night he'd have to move away, but every night he would sit right on stage right underneath Larry, and he would just have his Cheshire Cat grin, and every single night he was there, and I wouldn't spot him, but he was like, "You could do it, you could do it." So yeah, that's the biggest memory for an entire year. He sat there and made sure I had his, his strength doing the pullbacks and all that stuff.
I have to say, to me, the first time we all as a company stood and sang Kiss Today Goodbye.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
as a dancer,
Yeah.
the power of that was breathtaking for me and overwhelming. That, and also my kids at the time, my 2 girls were about 6, right? 6 or 7? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Little
yeah.
Shelby and Troy. And I remember they came to see the show for some reason by themselves. I had them because Terry wasn't around, so we got them in seats.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then after the show we got them backstage and they were like, "Mommy," they were like, "I didn't like the way Zach talked to you." They were really upset about it. And they said, and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she goes, they said, "But you know what? Don't worry about it. We just raspberried him the whole show." So they had been
Defending you.
the whole day, the whole time. I just imagine my 2 little 5-year-olds just the whole thing next to them. Anyway,
so cute.
I don't know. It just was. I think the whole thing is overwhelming, right? Just overwhelming and so emotional for a dancer. An ensemble, right?
Yes.
I mean, I remember my father coming to see the show, and he said, "It's a tribute." God, Michael Bennett did a tribute to dancers. What a tribute to dancers.
Yeah.
Jess, for you.
Oh, it's hard to pick a moment because there are so many moments. I was really proud of the final performance of the revival because I was 21 at the time, and I felt a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It was the end of a 2-year run, and I had been conditioned to play Val, and taking on a totally new role that was my dream role, but I didn't want to play when I was 21. I wanted to play when it felt appropriate to play it. And so I just, tried to go out there and do everybody proud with, family and friends and alumni in the audience, and trying to do this lady proud. And, that I'm proud of that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. The 50th anniversary is coming up. Just what are you looking forward to the most? Seriously, I know you're all working and it's a lot, but you're still working on what's happening for this show. You're in great hands with Bjork Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the keeper of the flame.
It's all going to come together.
together. Of
course
It
it
always
is.
does, right?
Yeah.
These things. But it's nerve-wracking because we don't know. I don't know what we're going to find out as we go each day. And but I know that I always have a great time in reunions.
Yeah.
When I see people I haven't seen in a long
Yeah.
time. And I haven't seen Kelly. I just bought her book so I could read it and have her sign it.
I heard it's
I'm
fabulous.
excited.
Her book.
And you
She's the
know, and
audience.
Priscilla. I'm excited, and Wayne.
Oh, Wayne's coming.
Wayne's oh my God.
I mean, you're going to see all this history up there.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
you've either danced with
Yeah.
or studied with, or like, oh my God, that's
Yeah.
the original Mike.
Yeah. Well, when
Yeah.
I my very first job was a cruise ship in 2002 that went to Europe, and I didn't even realize when I was auditioning it was this, Wayne Salento, and I was like, it sounds familiar, and then I realized I was like, oh my God, I'm working with the original Mike. It was wild. It was wild. I just saw him just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most, Jess?
Oh my gosh, the same. It's overwhelming. I get emotional thinking about how much the show means
Yeah.
to so many of us,
Yeah.
and to be on stage with you. I remember pinching myself, doing Hello Dolly and being on that stage and knowing that that's where Chorus Line happened. And so the fact that this night happens and it's there, and that I get to stand with so many alumni. It's
And when you
heaven.
think of all of the dancers, the young dancers over 50 years that have had a career, that have found a way to have live their dream, and it's all the lives that were changed, and not just dancers, but people who are fans of the show and love the show, and it changed many lives.
And continues to.
Yeah,
I want it,
continues
to live on.
It's always playing somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.